Science!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dills here. So today we're going to make a deck tech video for a couple reasons. One is it's the Milkshake deck, and everybody really wants to find out about this Milkshake deck. A lot of people have asked me for the list, so here you go. I'm going to talk about the current list I'm using, why I'm playing it in Wild. But the other reason I'm making this is to show you guys what the deck tech videos are going to look like. I have a goal set up on my Patreon site, which is patreon.com/WillyDills. And once we get to $750 per month, I will make a weekly deck tech video about more serious decks you could actually play competitively, decks you might even be able to get legend with. So we're going to start off by just giving you guys a taste of what that's going to look like with this version, which is a joke deck, a fun deck, but a deck a lot of people have really enjoyed for a long time. So we're going to talk about that. So once we get to 750, we're at 707 right now. So we're pretty damn close. Once we get to 750, we'll do this weekly. So if this is something you want to see, go ahead and sign up, patreon.com/WillyDills. All right, let's talk about the Milkshake deck. It originally started as a joke deck that I came up with in the closed beta. So this is more than 2 years ago when I first started messing around with this deck. And I just made it because I realized Priest had a lot of cards that stole things. So it seemed pretty obvious to me. Back then, Mind Control was only 8 mana. So that was a very powerful card. We ran 2 of those back then. Over time, though, the Mind Control changed to 10 mana. A couple other things changed. But Priests always had this steal your cards and play with them mechanic built into their core set. So it just seemed obvious. And other people had experimented with this. But I really took it all the way and talked about it a lot on the show, and it just kind of grew into a deck that had a life of its own. A lot of people made their versions. People had talked to me about other classes can make Milkshake decks. It's very, very cool that it's kind of taken on a life of its own, and to this point, the Milkshake deck is probably the deck that I'm most known for, even though I don't really play competitively. But it's just kind of stuck around and it's stuck with me as a deck that people are interested in. So the Milkshake reference is to the movie There Will Be Blood. It is not a reference to the song about milkshakes bringing all the boys to the yard. It's a reference to the movie There Will Be Blood because in that movie there's a scene where Daniel Day-Lewis leans forward to Paul Dano's character and tells him how he will drink his milkshake. He'll drink it up.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
And since the advent of Reno Jackson, the deck has moved from a deck that ran a lot of 2-ofs, specifically of cards like Thought Steal and things like that, Cabal, Shadow Priest, cards that are pretty good and steal your cards. It has moved into a Reno Jackson deck, which is actually really good for the Milkshake archetype because there are a lot of milkshakey cards, and a lot of them are already cards that aren't really good enough to play 2 of anyway. So now you've actually got the option to not only play all of those cards because you only run 1 of each card, but because it's a deck that tends to fall behind because it's always trying to counter the other person's plays, Reno Jackson is a fantastic card. So heal you back up, stall the game out, go to late game, which is really where the deck shines. It is weak against a lot of things. I'm not going to lie. This is not a deck that's going to get you a high win rate. I'm currently rocking with this deck on the Wild ladder a 55% win rate, though. So it can beat other decks. I really do believe that it can beat almost anything with the right draw. But it's not a deck that I think you're going to push to high legend with. If you get to legend, it might be fun just to mess around with it because you can't lose legend, right? But also, I think it's perfect for the Wild format because there's a lot of cards in there that you couldn't play in Standard anymore, but are still perfect for the Milkshake deck. And not to mention, more competitive play is currently happening on the Standard ladder. So it's a great way to kind of take a respite from that, go back and just have a little fun on the Wild ladder, right? You don't really care about your ranking as much there because only one of them is going to count at the end of the month for your rewards. So let's go ahead and talk about the cards, all of the cards that are in the current list. So the first one is not really a milkshakey card, but it's just too fun of a card to not include, and that's Forbidden Shaping. Forbidden Shaping is a card that I don't necessarily think is a good card, but it's a fun card and it gives you a proactive thing to do in the deck, which is one of the things that the deck kind of lacks. Like, you're really relying on the other person to do stuff and then take their stuff and do things with it. Forbidden Shaping is a card that actually allows you to just play a threat, right? And it's just a fun version of that too. There's actually some really good statistics out there And I'll link below to a spreadsheet that somebody made and had been posted on Reddit that'll give you all the statistics on what you can get at each mana cost with Forbidden Shaping. But generally, the best mana usage is 8. And the reason why 8 is the best mana usage is that you get a lot of cards that are just good and less chances of getting really bad cards. So if you were to use the card on 9 mana, there is a 1 in 21 chance that you will get Blade of Cthulhu without its battle cry. So that's just a 4/4 for 9 mana. That's no good. If you play it on 10, there's a chance you'll get a Cthulhu without its battle cry, which is a 6/6 for 10. That's not good either. Sure, you might get Deathwing. You might get Yashiraj, which would be pretty good. Or a 10/10 Faceless Behemoth wouldn't be that bad. But at 8 mana, you can get things like Grommash, which charges right away. Alakir the Windlord, charge with Wind Fury. Kel'Thuzad, bring all your stuff back to life. Ragnaros, either one. Seeds Old Shredder, Tyrion. Ironbark Protector. Pretty much the worst thing you can get on 8 mana would be the Boogie Monster. So that's not that terrible if that's the worst thing you can get. So much better than a 4/4 for 9. So I think really the slot to play it is 8 mana, which means if you're on 10, you can heal your face and then play this or something like that, or heal a minion and then play this. And you'll generally get a pretty decent result. The second card is Mind Vision. Very clearly a Milkshake card. This is one of the cards you want in your opening hand because it gives you a proactive play on turn 1. You not only do you steal a card, well, you don't steal it, but you copy a card from the opponent's hand. You also get a little bit of information about what's in the opponent's hand. So kind of nice to have that. And sometimes you'll get something really, really important to use later on. The other thing too is that there's so many cards in here that copy cards from the opponent that it's not terrible sometimes. A lot of times if you're playing as a priest and you get something like, I don't know, a deadly poison, you'll never get to use it, right? But when you have this many ways to copy cards, you might also end up with a weapon. Power Word Shield is basically just a cycle card. It's just too good of a card not to put in. It's not really a milkshakey card, but it has a lot of uses here. We can use it to, just cycle through cards. We can use it to make our guys trade in a better fashion. We can also use it to activate our Wild Pyromancer and stuff to do some board clearing. It's pretty good. Northshire Cleric is also just too good of a card not to include. We don't run all the things like Circle, so we're losing out on a little bit of its flexibility and drawing a bunch of cards. But if you can just draw 1 or 2 cards with it, it's still going to have done its job. This is a card you're going to keep in your opening hand most of the time, but you're not using it as like a turn 1 play. You're more using it as just a card that you can use to cycle at some point. And then it kind of draws removal. It has to be dealt with. Convert this is just a milkshakey card. Not technically that great, but there are some really cool plays you can make with it. A lot of opponents these days in the slower meta are playing some pretty big threats. And with the Milkshake deck, there's plays like, convert their Sylvanas, and then Shadow Word Death, that same Sylvanas. Now you have a Sylvanas, theirs is dead. You can play yours at any time. It'll be a nice card to play at some point. There's just a lot of cards that opponents are playing these days, and this directly just takes a card off of the board and puts it into your hand. So things like Tyrion are also great for this. Shadow Word Pain, removal. You need it. This deck is trying to last until the end, and you're going to need to be able to kill stuff. So Shadow Word Pain's great. Crazed Alchemist is a card that I always played in this deck because it's so good for allowing you to do your Shadow Word Pains and Deaths on cards you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Everyone talks about that 4 attack slot as being kind of the anti-priest spot. So you can't kill it, right? You have no way to remove those cards. Well, with Crazed Alchemist, you can do that. Plus, it allows you to do some fun plays with Shadow Madness, where you can Shadow Madness something, Crazed Alchemist it, and trade in a way that you wouldn't have been able to. Doomsayer is another card that's just there to stall the game out. It's a pretty popular card these days because there's a lot of decks that are aggro. Let's say you play against an aggro shaman and they drop Tunnel Trog, Coin Tunnel Trog, and then you just Doomsayer and then they lose both their Tunnel Trogs. Pretty awesome card. Recombobulator is a card that's in for a couple reasons. One is that we run a few cards that are weaker bodies for their mana cost because of what they do. So cards like Eater of Secrets is actually kind of weak if you don't actually get secrets. If you're not playing against a secret deck, you can recombobulate that. You could recombobulate your Cabal Shadow Priest or your Reno Jacksons to get something a little bit better. You can recombobulate Harrison Jones. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with Recombobulator, but one of the coolest things you can do is you can Shadow Madness a card, attack with it, then recombobulate it, turning it into another card, and then you keep that card because it loses the Shadow Madness buff, which the Shadow Madness buff gives it charge, but then gives it back at the end of the turn. So you take away that, and then you just keep whatever it turns into. Pretty nice little fun play. Shrinkmeister is here to allow a lot of other things. You can Shrinkmeister things and Shadow Word Pain them. You can also Shrinkmeister things and then Shadow Madness them. There's a lot of interesting plays to be made with the Shrinkmeister. So also you can Shrinkmeister things and then steal them with Cabal Shadow Priest. So anything with 4 attack. And remember, in the Wild Ladder, those piloted Shredders are back. So it's always good to be able to take those away. Wild Pyromancer, this just gives us a little bit more AoE board clearing possibilities. We don't have a ton of spells to use with it, a ton of cheap spells, but we do have things like Velen's Chosen, Mind Vision, Power Word Shield, Convert. These cards are actually pretty good for activating your Wild Pyromancer. And against the Zoo deck, you need to be able to clear their board. So it's really nice to be able to have that card. Shadow Word Death, again, it's just removal. It's very, very well costed removal. Removes a big creature for 3 mana, which is great. Thought Steal, very key milkshakey card, so you got to have that in there. Taking 2 of their cards and putting them right into your hand, always good stuff. So, and sometimes, I mean, I've thought stolen direct lethal. I thought stole just yesterday. I think while I was streaming, I thought stole Fireball, Frostbolt, and the guy was at like 14 health and had a 5 attack minion on the board. So there you go, bam, lethal. Mind Control Tech. Velen's Chosen first. This is another card that is back in the Wild format that we don't have in Standard anymore. But it does a lot of really cool things. We do run things like Holy Nova and Excavated Evil, so you can do things like Velen's Chosen your creature, allowing you to play a 4 damage Excavated Evil without killing your creature. So that's pretty nice. And also, of course, doing 3 damage with the Holy Nova is pretty good. So this is the only spell damage in the deck, and it's also a nice buffing card. It's a really powerful card. Mind Control Tech, very milkshakey card. A lot of times you're going to be behind on the board, and this can help you flip those situations. There's a lot of secret paladins in Wild, and one of their plays, their common plays, is to play like a Knife Juggler on turn 2 or a Shielded Minibot, and then muster for battle on turn 3. Suddenly they have 4 minions, and you can play your Mind Control Tech. It's pretty nice. Shadow Madness I talked about with some of the other cards that it has really good synergy with, but it's also, in a lot of cases, just a 2-for-1. You take one of their creatures, then you kill one of their other creatures with that creature, and so essentially you've killed two minions with 1 card, 2-for-1. Pretty good value. It's also really good against Hunters, which I've been seeing a lot of because you can Shadow Madness one of their creatures and then run it into their freezing trap or something like that and actually put that card back into your hand. So not only do you activate the trap, but you take away a minion, therefore 2-for-1ing them. So it's a card that has a lot of value. Eater of Secrets. Now this one used to be a Kazan Mystic. Used to make a lot of sense because Kazan Mystic literally takes a secret away, puts it onto your side as a played secret, which is pretty good value. And that card would still be in this, but I'm not going to run 2 different secret cards. And Eater of Secrets I put in for now. We may end up going back to Kazan, but in Wild, people are still playing that pesky Secret Paladin deck. So if you could steal 5 secrets, or eat 5 secrets, you don't steal them, you just destroy them. But if you can do that, you end up playing a 7/9 for 4 mana and killing 5 secrets. That's value right there. Shifting Shade is a very milkshakey card. It's a 4/3 Death Rattle, draws you a card from the other guy's deck. So a card directly out of their deck. And this, I've gotten a lot of really good stuff. I got Tyrion with it just the other day. Excavated Evil, pretty simple here. This is just a board wiping card. A lot of times you're behind on the board, so having AoE effects is really important in a deck like this. Holy Nova, same thing. Also, this is our only real way to draw multiple cards with Cleric. So if you can find a way to set that up, definitely try to do that because cycling through your deck can be really powerful, especially when all your cards do very specific things. It would be great to have some more card draw in this deck, but really what we do is instead of drawing our own deck, we draw the other guy's deck. So anyway, Faceless Manipulator, Milkshake card written all over it. Copy one of their guys and then kill that guy. Or, one of my favorite things to do with it is to Faceless Manip, like my own Sylvanas, and then kill one of my Sylvanas to act as another mind control. So pretty fun card. Lots of cool uses here. there's tons of cards that you're going to want to faceless manip out in the world right now, and he just puts it directly onto the board, right? So convert will grab a minion from the other guy's board and put it in your hand, while faceless manipulator will just put it directly onto the board. So faceless manipping things like Ragnaros is just amazing. Harrison Jones, this is a card that's maybe not that milkshakey, but in a world where Doomhammer is a very played card, it's just really powerful. So I run Harrison Jones here. It's one of the only ways to draw through the deck in a significant manner, and a lot of times you can just win a game. And then it's pretty milkshakey. I mean, you destroy their weapon and convert it into cards for your side, right? So that's pretty good. Vol'jin, this is a very milkshakey card. Trade health with something, giving that other something 2 health exactly, allowing you to do things like Holy Nova them down or trade into them with some smaller minion. It's a really powerful card. You can make a lot of great plays here. You can Vol'jin something and then Shadow Madness something into it, which is a great way to deal with a big threat. Entomb, also super milkshakey card. Just steal it, put it right in my deck. I'll draw it later. It's really great in control matchups that are going to go to fatigue, because you will go to fatigue quite often with this deck. And putting extra cards into your deck that then allow you to draw them later and get to fatigue slower is actually really, really powerful. Light Bomb, this is a wild only card, and we are glad to have it back because this card can flip boards quite a bit. Also remember, in Wild, Dr. Boom is still a thing, and this card deals with Dr. Boom in a very efficient way. Kills everything off. You do take some damage from boom bots, but hey, what are you going to do? Cabal Shadow Priest, steal the card that has 2 or less attack. Why wouldn't you put this in any milkshake deck? This is a perfect card. And also Crazed Alchemist, Shrinkmeister, both have really good synergy, allowing you to steal things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. I'm still waiting for the day, and I've been contemplating whether I should be running Emperor Thaurissan in the deck just to make some crazier combos possible, because it would be super fun to be able to Vol'jin something, then Crazed Alchemist, that's that card, whatever that may be, so that the 2 health becomes its attack, then Cabal Shadow Priest that card. That would be awesome. You can do that. It's just going to take you an extra turn to get there, and oftentimes that thing won't be alive anymore. Reno Jackson, like I said, we build now this version of Milkshake as a Reno deck, so you get to put 1 of everything in, and Reno Jackson healing you back to full. Always really powerful. And in a deck like this, where you are going to be behind until you get to flip that board, it's really great to be able to heal yourself to full. So, really important card. Sylvanas, this is very clearly a Milkshake card. This has been in since vanilla, since the closed beta. And yeah, you play it, it flips board states for you, and it steals cards from the other guy. So, very good. You can also Shadow or Death your own Sylvanas to act as a quick, cheap mind control. It's 2 cards, but it's only 8 mana. So, or 9 mana, excuse me. So, pretty good. Nefarian, obviously a Milkshake card. Now, this doesn't pull cards from their deck. It just pulls them from their class and their 2 random cards. But a lot of times that turns out to be pretty good. Plus, you play an 8/8 body at the same time. So, what's not to like about that? And finally, we round the deck out with Mind Control, the simplest of Milkshake cards. I literally take a card from your side of the board, move it over to my side. That's my card now. I just grab your Milkshake, my Milkshake. So, this is a pretty fun deck. I really think that it's actually a deck that can win games. There's all sorts of cards that could go in here. If you really want to find cards to put in here, what I recommend is just go into the collection and type in take. Type the word take, because take will give you all sorts of good options. Take, copy, steal. Type in those 3 things, and you'll find all sorts of good Milkshake options. All right, so that's going to do it for the description of the cards and why each card is in the deck and what they do. Why wait any longer? Let's go ahead and check out a game. Me on the wild ladder, actually winning a game against a pesky Paladin. All right, to the stream. Put 25 cards in the deck and didn't draw either of those things.
Anduin versus Uther.
I will fight with honor.
The light shall bring victory.
You really think that there's a bot at rank 13 this late in the season playing in the wild format? It seems... I don't know, man. I don't know about that. How's the wild meta? Well, we played 3 games. 2 of them are 4 games and 3 of them are Paladin. So there you go. There's the wild
The
meta.
light protects me.
Oh god damn, it's the same fucking deck again. Alright.
Reporting for duty.
Alright. Like, the problem is, like, this is like fine because it stalls out here, but like stalling against this guy doesn't do much. This might just be a deck. If I go up against this fucking deck, I should maybe just concede. It's gonna be like 30 minutes of me holding him off. And then finally he just, like, you know, 1-1s overtake the game.
Let me think.
Oh shit, dog. He actually, I didn't think he would actually use the equality there. I thought he would hold back on that. Please be Secret Paladin. Well, I don't think it is. Well, those are good. Those are good cards.
Reporting for duty.
The light protects me.
Yeah.
Well played.
We'll just do that. This guy's not a bot. He gave me the well played.
The spirits be restless.
Doesn't give a fuck about holding back on his weapon hits, though, does he? I guess his plan is to just go face. Cult Master. Bold move. Yeah, he's definitely gonna win because of this, like, one damage he's gotten over the course of a few turns here. I really don't think this is a bot, Lovar. I think you're misinterpreting some things here. He well played me after the consecrate. I don't think bots have. I don't think the people who make the bots, like, put in emote botting so that it looks real. It seems like a big ass waste of time.
Reporting for duty.
All right.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, I'm sure the people making the bots were like, you know what? Here's how we don't get caught, man. We put in these emotes, and then nobody will ever know. It'd be amazing. Ooh, secret. I don't think he's a secret pally though. Yeah, so
By the light.
mobile sack made a lot of sense to me. Yeah, no, I agree that it's a boring deck. So this guy wants to grind wild with a boring deck. That's fine. That's his prerogative. It does seem kind of lame though. All right. With a double Cult Master, this guy's probably running Tyrion, don't you think? I mean, come on, man. He's definitely gonna kill me with all these little 1/1s going at me, though, don't you think? That's gonna happen. Oh shit! You guys got more than one secret?
Let me change your mind.
Could have Harrison there, but I've actually got like the perfect Tyrion answer if Tyrion is a thing. Shadow word Harrison. If Tyrion does happen to be a thing in this deck, which apparently we have no fucking idea. Apparently people aren't playing Tyrion anymore. Which seems crazy. Why would you not play Tyrion? Oh shit, dude! God damn, going in. Please draw Reno, just so I can fuck this guy. Please, please, please draw Reno. The problem is like avenge and shit, you know? Like get down, I don't mind. Okay.
I have no time for games.
Just the slow bleeding of my life, man. It's just so annoying. Oh my god. Actually playing like a decent amount of secrets. The slow bleeding of my life. Really annoying.
Let none survive.
Really want to draw. Should have done that first. Still should have done that first. But I really want to draw Reno, dude. 7% chance. I'm expecting it to be really good, actually. The Warcraft movie. Heard good things already. Okay, this looks like a Consecrate. No possibility for Tyrion here.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Reporting for duty.
Taking 3 damage a fucking turn. Okay, okay. That happens to be... Yeah, fuck it. We're gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna wait just a little bit. I think I need to get more value off of this Pyromancer to possibly win this game. The thing is, like, if I want to make this deck actually good, I would definitely put in more shit like healing, you know? Oh, thank God. So is it Avenge? Avenge. Secret is Avenge. Like we knew it was. Dr. Boom!
Reporting for duty.
We might be dead.
Do you like to play with fire?
We might be dead. You mean Dr. Entomb? Ooh. Looks like. We don't have that wild pyro anymore to do cool shit, which kind of sucks.
I must consider.
Reno, where are you? God, just one Reno, dude, and we just fucking crushed this guy. We crushed this clown.
Not too quickly.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't Shadow Madness Equality this. That is just too shitty of a play. Too shitty of a play.
Reporting for duty.
Don't hit the ooze. Okay, we're chilling. We're chilling, boys. Does my deck need more draw? Nah. So this is the thing. You guys gotta understand. This is Milkshake, and everything in here is Milkshake for a reason.
Reporting for duty.
You don't put a bunch of draw in because you don't want to draw your cards. You want to fucking draw their cards, man. I have lots of draw. I just draw their cards. He used an equality already, right? Yes. Oh my god, he had another fucking equality? This guy runs 2 equalities? Are you a fucking sick human being? What is your problem? This guy runs 2 equalities in this deck? This guy is known as... This guy's what's known as a bad player. But 2 equalities in this deck. No. That's the wrong decision. It worked out for him here, but that's still definitely the wrong decision. He's also playing Avenging Wrath and Volcanic Drake, so maybe he's just a guy who doesn't have a large collection of cards. And double Cult Master. Oh shit, dog! He still has Tyrion. Okay, Tyrion is still in the deck.
Reporting for duty.
Oh my god.
Put your faith in the light.
You don't got equality anymore, dude. You do not have equality anymore. Tyrion is one of the last 5 cards in his deck. So I'll tell you what's never getting used. Ever. This is mind control until we see his Tyrion. Son, you ain't got no more equalities. You used your ooze. Black Knight? Dude, please don't fucking do it. There's no way it's Black Knight. He would have insta-fucking played that shit. He would have insta-Black Knighted this. He's just trying to figure out if it's worth it to even attack into this shit. Oh, I see.
Reporting for duty.
Okay. Well, we can actually Harrison this because we're gonna mind control. We're gonna mind control the other Tyrion. Yes. Mmm. Mmm.
Don't test me, child.
Ba boom boom bap. Ba boom bap. Ba boom boom bap. Ba boom bap. Ba boom boom bap. 5, 6, 7. I can get this up to 7. I think that's worth.
Let us see if
Don't test me, child.
Ba boom boom bap. Ba boom bap. Ba boom boom bap. Ba boom bap. Ba boom boom bap. Where's that coin? Coin got used long ago. Cool story, bro.
Reporting for duty.
Should we get greedier? Should we get greedier? Nah. I think we should just start going at his. Nah, we'll kill this. We're gonna kill that because I guess it's possible that he could be running kings. He hasn't played a single one yet, but that could be something that's out there somehow. Oh my god. 2 Avenging Wraths.
The victory is yours.
Wow.
Wow. All right, that's a good one. We could put that on YouTube.